I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this movie, but I figured I should. Little Nicky. Now, the DVD does have quite a few features. It has a behind-the-scenes making of the film. It has a little featurette where you have on-camera interviews with Ozzy Osbourne, Gene Simmons, Ronnie James Dio, and others. That was pretty cool. You have two commentaries, one with Adam Sandler, director Stephen Brill, and co-writer Tim Herlihy. And then you have another commentary hosted by Michael McKean, and you'll get little inklings of people like John Lovitz, Kevin Nealon, Henry Winkler, and Ozzy Osbourne pop in and out of the commentary. So, I'm glad this was, I was fine paying. It says $3, but this might have been one I got half off, $1.50. $1.50 for those features were fine. I know there's some people who do like this movie, and that's cool. I mean, I wouldn't say this is in the top 5 worst Adam Sandler films for me. I'd definitely say Going Overboard, Jack and Jill. I put, Chuck and Larry as worse than this. I put Grown Ups 2 worse than this. That's My Boy worse than this, among others. But this is one of those movies that, even when I saw it back in the day, I could not really get into too much. I mean, it definitely was trying to, in a way, be ambitious. Because you have this character who's one of the sons of the devil, played by Harvey Keitel. And then Harvey Keitel's dad is Rodney Dangerfield, which was an interesting piece of casting. And you also have Tiny Lister Jr. and I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, Rice Ifans. They're the other two sons of Satan, and they want to rule Earth, and they fuck up this portal to hell, and Harvey Keitel's falling apart, and he's like, I need your help, son. So Adam Sandler gets the help of this dog named Beefy, and they try to stop the two evil brothers. And Ozzy Osbourne makes an appearance. Quentin Tarantino makes an appearance as this blind preacher man. So definitely a lot of familiar faces. Patricia Arquette is our love interest. I'm not sure if I showed the inside of this. Just these two guys here are heavy metal guys that become friends with Little Nicky. This stuff here, like this guy was the gatekeeper and he screwed up, so Harvey Keitel gave him titties for a head. And then this monkey demon thing falls in love with him. And then you see Rodney Dangerfield with Harvey Keitel, which that right there is, when would you ever see that? John Lovitz has a little part in this, as this pervert at the beginning that's watching a mom take her clothes off, and the son of the mom hits him on the fucking head, falls down, and goes to tree. Off the tree, goes to hell for being a fucking pervert. Oh yeah, another nice thing is the music. Like, there's a lot of familiar faces, and the music, the soundtrack is pretty damn good. You got P.O.D., like School of Hard Knocks, a lot of good heavy metal tunes. You got AC/DC's Highway to Hell. So it definitely has a good soundtrack. And another thing, it's a pretty short film. Like, it's an hour and 30 minutes with the credits. If you take off the end credits, it's like an hour and 22 minutes. So it's not that short. I mean, it's not that long of a movie. So it does have its positive moments. And for the budget they had, you can see it on the screen because they were trying to do a lot of stuff. Like when Adam Sandler does the 360 head. There's another moment where he turns to all these spiders to scare people who are chasing him. Possessions of going in and out of bodies, being in hell. There's another moment where Little Nicky goes to heaven and meets his mom, played by Reese Witherspoon. Oh, Johnny Witherspoon from Friday. He makes an appearance in this. I guess at the end of the day, I can't really say a lot of it made me laugh, which is, that's the hard thing about reviewing a comedy. You can review it in one sentence. It was funny, or it was not funny, in the review. And for me, it's like, it wasn't really that funny to me. Like, I definitely prefer Big Daddy or The Wedding Singer or Anger Management or Bulletproof even, which a lot of people hated that. But yeah, this is a time where Adam Sandler was on a streak of hits. I mean, you had The Waterboy, Big Daddy, and then this came out. I'm sure New Line Cinema thought it would be another hit like those others, but became a big flop. And for sort of a 10-year stretch, it was one of the few big flops that he was a part of. Right, there's films like Rain Over Me and Punch Drunk Love that didn't break the box office, but I don't know if they were that big of a flop compared to this. Or if it wasn't a flop, they would call it a box office disappointment, considering expectations, because Big Daddy, which was 1999, I believe, and this came out in 2000. Also, I'm not sure about the voice he gives here, because he's kind of talking like this for the whole movie, and I guess it just depends if you get annoyed as shit about the way he's talking or not. And I think that's what it is for the most part. There are exceptions to the rule. Like, I will admit, I'm one of the few guys that likes Zohan. You don't mess with Zohan, which he talks with a little bit of an accent and that. Like, that's a film I found funnier than this, but that's just my opinion. But for the most part, when he does those weird ways of talking, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So, they have a guy talking like this for the whole movie. It's kind of annoying. And it has jokes like, oh, Hitler's in hell and he's wearing a maid's outfit and Harvey Keitel is shoving a pineapple up his ass. You have jokes like, turning the guy's head into a pair of titties, or a lot of fucking promo for Popeye's Chicken. Jesus Christ. Like, Popeye's Chicken is another character in this movie. Popeye's Chicken should be part of the fucking cast list, because it has more screen time than some of the fucking characters in the movie. Because it's like, this dog teaching him how to eat, and it's Popeye's Chicken. There's other moments where they're sitting in the apartment, and there's Popeye's Chicken. Boom, there's the Popeye logo. And even at the end, when he's got the power of fucking love or whatever, shooting rainbows out of his fingertips, there's demons ready to attack him, and he saves himself by giving them a big old huge ass bucket of Popeye's Chicken, and one of the demons says, Popeye's Chicken is the shiznit. Whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, Popeye's Chicken is the shiznit? Hey, I like Popeye's Chicken. Just give it to me. Instead of fucking talking about it every 10 fucking minutes. And like, I didn't need the cutaway of Mr. Beefy fucking another dog and saying, say Mr. Beefy. And then this dog, which sounded like Ellen DeGeneres, which I don't know if it was, just they only said one line of dialogue, but the female dog, it did sound like Ellen DeGeneres. It's like Mr. Beefy. And ooh, the dog's coming in the other dog's pussy. It's great. Fucking A, B, and C delicious. Trying to think of other moments. There's a moment where he changes a Coke into a Pepsi. There's the Harlem Globetrotter scene where Dana Carvey plays this asshole referee and keeps fucking things up. Adam Sandler he's peeking on someone who he thinks is a girl, but it's Clint Howard in women's clothes. Michael McKean, he's the chief of police in this movie. And they show footage of Scarface, but it's Little Nicky's face superimposed on Scarface. And showing that footage makes everyone believe that, look what Little Nicky did. I'm like, no one notices that's fucking Scarface? With a shitty superimposing shot? But you're not supposed to take the film that seriously. Oh, Carl Weathers, he's also in this. His character from Happy Gilmore, who's in heaven. And he's like, it's all in the hips, like he said in Happy Gilmore. I'm like, great, you made me want to just go watch Happy Gilmore again. Then your fucking movie. Henry Winkler, who is in The Waterboy, he has an appearance where he gets attacked by bugs, CG bugs. Ozzy Osbourne appears because Little Nicky's fighting the last, evil brother, and the brothers turn into a bat, and Little Nicky has this ball of light and throws it down, and Ozzy Osbourne appears, and the bat's like, holy shit, and Ozzy Osbourne CG mouth opens up and bites the bat's head off. Which I liked seeing Ozzy Osbourne in there. That was fun. That was a fun bit of casting. Highway to Hell shows up at the end of the movie when they do this montage of where are they now. Like, the dog went with his love, a sewer rat, and they have a shitload of ugly kids. Little Nicky is with Patricia Arquette, and they have this little kid who can spit out fire. What the hell else can I say about this movie? I'm already running out of steam. Listen, if you like the film, I can see why. I guess maybe more so than Chuck and Larry or Jack and Jill or Going Overboard or things of that nature. Because I know the sum up, it's ambitious. At least it's trying to do a lot of different effects. Some practical effects, I believe by some people from K&B. I believe it was K&B. They worked on some of the practical effects, as well as a lot of use of CGI. Again, a lot of familiar faces, from Quentin Tarantino to Carl Weathers to Rodney Dangerfield to Michael McKean and Dana Carvey and so forth. Most of the cast do well, like Harvey Keitel as the devil, or Rodney Dangerfield as his dad. Ozzy Osbourne being in there, that was fun at the end. Then you have Kevin Nealon, that's the guy with the titty head. Like I said, John Lovitz. The heavy metal soundtrack is pretty cool. But again, I can't really find many moments that really made me laugh, that really made me chuckle, that really made me go, yes. I can't think of much, as I'm sitting here talking to you, talking to the camera. And, I can see why the film did not do well. I can see why the film bombed. I think it does have a little bit of a cult following. I could be wrong on that. I'm not part of that. Sorry. If you like the film, that's cool. The features are pretty cool, like I said, but this is when New Line Platinum series did that for most of their movies, but they couldn't do it for the fucking Ninja Turtle movies, which I don't know why, or Mortal Kombat, but they did for every other movie, like Little Nicky. But I would prefer Mortal Kombat or that movie getting the Platinum Series DVD than Little Nicky, but I digress. It's directed by Stephen Brill, who worked on a few other... Did he work on... No. That's Frank Corazzi. What the hell else did he work on? Mr. Deeds. And... Okay, now that's Peter Segal. I always get them fucking mixed up. I know in these reviews I don't want to get mixed up who directed what, because it's like 3 or 4 directors that Adam Sandler uses a lot. He'll use Stephen Brill, Dennis Dugan, Frank Corazzi, or Peter Segal. So I know I'm going to get one of them wrong. Like, did he direct this? Usually it's a mix of those 4. Once in a while it's a random one, but usually... So, there you go. Anyway, I'll end it here. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.